Namaskaram. Have you ever wondered why some of the most impactful individuals in the world operate with a certain quietness? They move with grace, but they rarely explain. They act, but they don't announce. There's wisdom in this. Have you ever noticed how the most captivating things in life are often the ones we don't fully understand? A starry night sky, a distant horizon, or even the Mona Lisa's enigmatic smile? All of these hold a certain allure because they are not fully revealed to us. There is a profound power in mystery, a power that most of us tend to underestimate in our own lives. When you allow a certain air of mystery to surround you, you create a space where curiosity flourishes. People become intrigued, drawn to understand you, and naturally they begin to respect the boundaries you have set. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, those who choose silence over explanation and privacy over exposure stand out effortlessly. Mystery does not mean secrecy out of fear. It is not about hiding who you are or what you feel. It is about recognizing that not every part of your life needs to be laid bare for others to see. When you resist the urge to explain, to justify, or to constantly reveal, you maintain control over your narrative. You decide what part of your story the world gets to see and what parts remain yours alone. Consider the moon. Its beauty doesn't lie in the fact that it's fully illuminated. Rather, it lies in the phases, the shadows, and the parts we don't see. Similarly, when you leave room for the unseen and the unknown in your own life, you create a sense of depth and intrigue that cannot be manufactured. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. When you overshare, you lose the sense of wonder that others may have about you. It is like reading the last chapter of a book before starting it. It diminishes the journey, the anticipation, and the respect for the process. In life, the unknown has its purpose. It protects, preserves, and even empowers. There is also a deeply practical reason for embracing mystery. The more you reveal, the more others have the power to influence, judge, or even manipulate your choices. Not everyone who listens to your plans wishes you success. Some may criticize out of misunderstanding, others out of envy. By keeping certain things private, you protect your dreams and ambitions from unnecessary interference. And you give yourself the freedom to grow without being boxed into someone else's perception of who you are or what you should be. Mystery also fosters independence. When you do not constantly seek validation or input, you strengthen your ability to trust yourself. You realize that your value doesn't come from others' opinions, but from your own conviction. This creates a quiet confidence, a presence that doesn't need loud declarations to be felt. Understand that mystery is not about deception. It is about discernment. It is the wisdom to know what to share, when to share, and with whom. It is about creating boundaries, not walls. A wall shuts others out entirely, but a boundary allows only those who have earned your trust to step into your inner circle. Mystery isn't just for the benefit of others. It's a gift you give yourself. When you maintain an element of the unknown, you keep parts of your life sacred. You protect your energy, your peace, and your growth. You preserve the parts of you that are still evolving, still learning, and still finding their place in the world. The power of mystery lies in its ability to give you freedom. Freedom to be yourself without explanation, freedom to grow without interference, and freedom to inspire without words. So, don't be afraid to hold back, to keep parts of yourself unseen. Remember, the greatest stories are not the ones that are shouted from the rooftops, but the ones that unfold quietly in their own time with grace and depth. When you embrace mystery, you don't just live a life, you create an experience, one that leaves others wondering, admiring, and ultimately respecting who you are. In the rush of life, we often forget that energy is our most precious resource. Not money, not time, energy. It is the force that drives everything we do, from the smallest action to the grandest of dreams. Yet in today's hyper-connected world, we often squander this resource without a second thought. Every word we speak, every thought we share, every moment we spend explaining ourselves to others drains us of this vital energy. Think about it. How much of your energy do you lose by constantly narrating your life to others? Whether it's sharing your plans, defending your decisions, or simply seeking approval, each of these acts chips away at the energy you could otherwise channel into something far more meaningful. Energy is not infinite. It is a reservoir that requires careful management. And when you fail to protect it, you find yourself exhausted, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. There is a reason why some of the most successful people seem calm, focused, and almost detached from the noise of the world. It's because they've mastered the art of conserving their energy. They don't waste it on unnecessary arguments, meaningless gossip, or endless explanations. They understand that their energy is the fuel for their ambitions, and they guard it fiercely. And when you share too much about your life, your goals, struggles, or even your emotions, you inadvertently invite others to influence your energy. Some may support you, but others may question, criticize, or even discourage you. This is not because they are inherently against you. It's simply the nature of human interaction. Every time you engage with these external forces, you expend energy, often far more than you realize. Imagine your energy as water in a jar. If you pour it out for everyone who asks, soon there will be none left for yourself. But if you ration it wisely, you'll always have enough to nourish your own growth, even in the driest of seasons. The key is to understand that not everyone deserves access to your energy. You must be selective, not out of selfishness, but out of necessity. This doesn't mean you isolate yourself or become unapproachable. It means you become intentional about where you invest your energy. You focus on what truly matters, your goals, your well-being, and the relationships that genuinely uplift you. When you conserve your energy, you create a reservoir of strength that you can draw upon when it's needed most. Think of it like a fire. If you constantly throw sparks into the air, they dissipate and vanish. But if you focus your energy, you can create a flame so powerful that it lights up the darkest of nights. Similarly, when you stop spreading your energy thin, you begin to harness it. You find clarity, purpose, and the ability to achieve things you once thought impossible. Lastly, conserving energy also allows you to stay grounded. When you are not constantly seeking external validation, you develop a deeper connection with yourself. You start to listen to your own instincts rather than the noise of the world. This inner alignment not only strengthens your resolve, but also brings a sense of peace that no amount of external approval can match. Conserving your energy creates space for creativity and growth. When you're not busy defending your choices or explaining your actions, your mind is free to explore, to dream, and to innovate. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, You find solutions where others see problems. Conserving your energy is about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that your time, focus, and vitality are not infinite and they should be treated with respect. It's about understanding that every moment you spend on things that don't truly matter is a moment you lose for what does. Take a step back. Observe where your energy is going. Are you spending it wisely, or are you letting it slip away into the hands of those who neither value it nor deserve it? When you start to conserve your energy, you'll find that life becomes not just easier, but richer, more meaningful, and infinitely more fulfilling. In life, we all have vulnerabilities, those parts of us that feel tender, fragile, and exposed. They are not weaknesses, they are simply the human side of us that feels deeply and responds to the world in its most authentic way. These vulnerabilities can be our dreams, our fears, our struggles, or even the aspects of ourselves that we are still learning to embrace. But not everyone who encounters our vulnerabilities will treat them with care. The truth is, the world is full of different kinds of people. Some are kind, supportive, and nurturing, while others might be indifferent, judgmental, or even harmful. When you share too much of yourself with others, you expose these delicate parts of your being to the unpredictability of the world. While some may respect and honor your openness, others may see it as an opportunity to exploit, criticize, or undermine you. Think of your vulnerabilities as a precious garden. If you allow anyone and everyone to walk through it, some may admire the flowers, but others may trample them underfoot, either carelessly or intentionally. The garden's beauty fades not because it wasn't strong enough, but because it wasn't protected. In the same way, your vulnerabilities require boundaries. When you overshare, you invite opinions, judgments, and even unwarranted advice from people who may not truly understand your journey. These external influences can easily distort your sense of self, making you question your worth, your choices, and even your abilities. The damage doesn't come from sharing itself, but from sharing indiscriminately with those who haven't earned the right to see the most tender parts of who you are. Protecting your vulnerabilities doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means being intentional about who you let into your inner circle. Not everyone deserves to know your fears or hear your dreams. Sharing these parts of yourself should be a privilege, reserved for those who have shown trustworthiness, empathy, and genuine care for your well-being. When you guard your vulnerabilities, you create a safe space for yourself to grow. Growth is often a messy, uncertain process. It requires patience and the freedom to make mistakes without the fear of judgment. When you allow your vulnerabilities to be exposed to the wrong people, you risk hindering this growth. Criticism, even when well-meaning, can plant seeds of doubt that take root in your mind and hold you back from moving forward. There is also a matter of energy. Sharing your vulnerabilities can be emotionally taxing, and not everyone will reciprocate the emotional labor. Some may dismiss your feelings, while others may use what you share as leverage against you. This doesn't mean people are inherently malicious, but human nature is complex, and not everyone has the capacity to handle vulnerability with the respect it deserves. Protecting your vulnerabilities is an act of self-respect. It's a way of acknowledging that while you are open to connection, you are also aware of your own value. When you hold certain parts of yourself close, you are not being secretive, you are being wise. You are ensuring that the energy you put into the world is met with understanding, compassion, and support. It's also worth noting that protecting your vulnerabilities doesn't make you any less authentic. On the contrary, it allows you to be authentic on your own terms. You can still be open and honest without revealing everything. Authenticity isn't about baring your soul to everyone. It's about being true to yourself while maintaining the boundaries that keep you emotionally safe. When you protect your vulnerabilities, you empower yourself. You give yourself the freedom to navigate life without the burden of constant external scrutiny. You allow yourself to focus on healing, growing, and thriving in your own time and in your own way. You guide yourself better. Remember, vulnerability is not something to be ashamed of. It is a strength that connects us to others in meaningful ways. But like any strength, it needs to be wielded with care. Share your stories with those who have earned your trust, and let the rest of the world see only what you choose to share. In doing so, you will find that your vulnerabilities become not a source of weakness, but a foundation for resilience, wisdom, and deeper, more fulfilling relationships. Growth is a deeply personal journey, one that requires freedom. Freedom from judgment, expectations, and the constant pressure to explain yourself to others. When you allow yourself the space to grow without external interference, you create the perfect conditions for true transformation. This kind of growth doesn't just happen. It requires intentionality, and most importantly, the ability to keep certain aspects of your life private. Imagine planting a seed. For it to sprout and flourish, it needs to be nurtured in a safe environment, away from harsh winds or prying hands. If you expose the seed too early, it risks being damaged before it even has the chance to grow strong roots. Similarly, your personal growth needs a protected space, free from the scrutiny and opinions of the outside world. When you share your plans, dreams, or even struggles with too many people, you unintentionally invite their perspectives into your journey. Some may offer encouragement, but others may impose their fears, doubts, or limitations onto you. These opinions, even when well-meaning, can create unnecessary noise in your mind. They can make you second-guess your instincts, dilute your focus, and even deter you from pursuing what truly matters to you. Growth often involves trial and error. It's a process of exploring, failing, learning, and trying again. This requires freedom. The freedom to make mistakes without the fear of being judged, the freedom to pivot without needing to justify yourself, and the freedom to evolve at your own pace. When you are constantly under the gaze of others, this freedom is compromised. You may find yourself tailoring your actions to meet their expectations, rather than staying true to your own vision. External expectations can act like invisible chains, binding you to a version of yourself that no longer fits. People often see you through the lens of who you've been, not who you are becoming. When you let them in on every detail of your growth, you risk being anchored to their perception of you. This can stifle your progress as you begin to prioritize their comfort over your own transformation. There is also a certain magic in evolving quietly. When you keep your growth private, you are free to experiment without the pressure of performing for an audience. You can take risks, explore new paths, and even fail without anyone watching. This privacy allows you to stay aligned with your inner voice rather than being swayed by external noise. Growth is not always linear, and it rarely follows a predictable timeline. Some phases may be slow and introspective, while others may be rapid and outwardly visible. When you allow yourself the freedom to grow in private, You give yourself the grace to embrace this unpredictability. You are not confined by the need to meet milestones or prove your progress to anyone else. Freedom of growth also means being selective about who you allow into your journey. Not everyone will understand your path, and that's okay. By keeping your growth private, you ensure that the people who do become part of your process are those who genuinely support and uplift you. This creates a more nurturing environment for your transformation, as you are surrounded by energy that aligns with your vision. This freedom isn't about shutting the world out. It's about prioritizing your inner world. Growth is an intimate process, one that requires your full attention and presence. When you are constantly explaining yourself or seeking approval, you divide your energy between your inner journey and the outer world. By protecting your growth, you allow yourself to remain fully present in the process. Depth in relationships is not about the quantity of time spent together or the number of words exchanged. It is about the quality of connection. True depth comes from mutual trust, understanding, and a shared respect for each other's boundaries and individuality. It is a level of connection that can only be achieved when both parties are intentional about building something meaningful. One of the most important aspects of creating depth in a relationship is the balance between openness and discernment. While sharing your thoughts and emotions is essential for connection, not everything needs to be shared all at once or with everyone. Depth comes from gradually unveiling parts of yourself to someone who has earned your trust. It is in this process of selective sharing that intimacy is nurtured. When you share everything indiscriminately, the value of what you are sharing diminishes. It's like pouring water into a glass that is already full. The excess spills over, unnoticed and unappreciated. But when you choose to share intentionally, what you offer carries weight and meaning. It becomes a gift, not a routine exchange, and it creates a foundation for deeper understanding. Depth in relationships also relies on the ability to listen as much as, if not more than, you speak. Often we focus so much on expressing ourselves that we forget the power of truly hearing another person. Listening is not just about hearing words, it's about understanding the emotions, intentions, and unspoken messages behind them. When someone feels heard, they feel valued, and this creates a profound sense of connection. Another element of depth is the willingness to be vulnerable, but only with those who have shown they can be trusted. Vulnerability is not about revealing all your secrets or exposing all your flaws. It is about being authentic and allowing yourself to be seen as you truly are. When shared in the right context, vulnerability fosters a sense of closeness that cannot be achieved through superficial interactions. Depth in relationships also requires patience. It cannot be rushed or forced. Just as a tree takes time to grow deep roots, meaningful relationships take time to develop trust and understanding. This patience involves allowing the relationship to evolve naturally, rather than trying to accelerate the process or impose expectations on it. One of the greatest challenges to depth in relationships is the temptation to conform or lose oneself in the process of connecting with others. True depth is not about merging identities or agreeing on everything. It is about maintaining individuality while building a strong bond. When both parties honor each other's unique perspectives and experiences, the relationship becomes richer and more fulfilling. Boundaries are another crucial aspect of deep relationships. They define the space where mutual respect thrives. When you set and respect boundaries, you show that you value the relationship enough to ensure it remains healthy. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines that protect the integrity of the connection and prevent misunderstandings or resentments from building up. Conflict, when approached with maturity, can also contribute to depth in relationships. It is not the absence of disagreements that defines a strong bond, but the ability to navigate them with empathy and a willingness to find common ground. Resolving conflicts strengthens trust and demonstrates a commitment to the relationship's growth. Consistency is another cornerstone of deep relationships. Depth is not built through grand gestures or sporadic expressions of care. It is built through everyday acts of kindness, reliability, and presence. When someone knows they can count on you, the relationship deepens in ways that words alone cannot achieve. Depth in relationships comes from shared experiences and meaningful conversations. These moments create memories and a sense of belonging that cannot be replicated. They allow both individuals to see each other in different lights, fostering a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the other person. In relationships, depth is not found in fleeting moments or surface level exchanges, but in the intentional cultivation of trust, understanding, and authenticity. It is built through patience, selective vulnerability, and a commitment to mutual respect. True depth allows individuals to connect while preserving their individuality, creating bonds that are both enriching and enduring. By nurturing meaningful conversations, honoring boundaries, and consistently showing care, we create relationships that are not only fulfilling but transformative. It is within these deep connections that we find the space to grow, to love, and to truly be seen for who we are.